Alright, so guys, we might as well start. Welcome to the next sort of side of cyber coaching. Today's one's on memories. Now, I've brought in a few different things here today where I'm going to talk about the different memories I've had both in football, both in my childhood, and also throughout my coaching. And give you a little bit of an insight into certain things that I've done that some that even get coached by me may not know. So we're going to go on to things like areas that happened at Lillishall, areas that happened at Celtic, etc. Now, a little live plug just to start with. Firstly, to two companies that are still selling things. The first one being Crazy Catch, and the second one being Quick Play Sport. Both of them are still shipping. I know they are running out of stock like wildfire, but if anyone's still looking for equipment and things to use in your back garden with obviously being locked down, get onto those guys. If you don't have their contact details, contact me and I'll send you through to them. But both their managing directors have been on the phone to me saying, look, we still do have staff. If you can plug, please do. Another massive one as well, they're not an endorsee, but they are a very close friend of mine. And to be honest with you, they deserve a little plug to it. The guys at Fitness Inc. 1 that do all my supplements and all my drinks, all my shakes, all my proteins, etc. They have this morning safely, with distance, all white, all correctly done. They've actually brought stuff round for me. Now, I live nowhere near where they're from. It would be probably about 30-40 minute journey for them to come anywhere near where I actually live. And because they were doing deliveries at different areas throughout Northampton, they brought me all my protein, all my supplements that I need, just to keep me going. So if you guys are into protein, your supplementation, etc., whether it's for weight loss, weight gain, for mind reaction, or just gym work general, get onto Fitness Inc. and they'll help you out. They are still delivering, they are still supplying, and you know what? Spot on. Considering I can't get anything from the likes of Tesco's, Asda and areas like that, I can't get any sort of products to come in, can't get any deliveries. The fact that these guys that run a protein store are still delivering, respect to them. So if you guys need any of that, get onto them. So we're on memories today, so favourite sporting memories. Now, a little bit for the youngsters that are watching. If you send me your favourite sporting memory, or your favourite football memory, if you are a footballer, the more likes you get on this post for the next day will decipher how many points you get. If your memory is the one that gets the most likes, you'll get 50 cyber coaching points, which obviously, as you guys know, is an awful lot. For every memory that is shared with us today, though, you'll get 10 cyber points. So that's 50 if you get the most likes and 10 for any memory shared. Now, because I'm quite close to the camera today, I can actually hopefully read what's coming in and I'll share your memory with everybody else. Hello, little man. How are you? So my favourite sporting memory, let's start with my childhood memory. Now, Dad's watching, I think, as well. I think some of the things I say with regards to the favourite memories may actually be slightly different to what he actually expects. So it's going to be an interesting one. Hey, you're right, Mitch. And my favourite childhood memory, this is the one that he would get and he would remember. Years and years ago, I was about 10, 11 and we arrived at Old Trafford. Now, we were lucky, we used to get tickets from one of the guys that basically has a season ticket, and anytime we didn't want to go, he'd ship us the tickets, we'd sort the payment for it, and then obviously go up to Old Trafford. Now, that allowed me to probably watch 4 or 5 United games as a kid, and obviously at that stage, United games were gold dust. They were impossible to get hold of, they were impossible to buy. So we actually sat in the nice stand. We got to literally watch what was Peter Schmeichel and Raymond van der Hau warm up every single game. And there's this one day for the last sort of 2-3 games, and this was the last one we were ever actually going to be able to get to and watch. You're right, Ray. We had the point where good girl. Charlotte says, I have two, being coached by you and getting picked for Watford. So yeah, well done, girl. Massive congrats to you on that one, getting into Watford, and obviously still getting coached by me at the same time. So all brilliant. Well done, long mate. Continue. Keep up throwing left and right hands and kicking left and right feet. I'm seeing you on the videos. Keep doing it for me, and then hopefully when we come out of lockdown, I'll be coaching you again. So as I said, on this memory itself, we were at Old Trafford. We had been trying to get Picture Michael's autograph for literally every single time we were there. We would arrive sort of 2.5 hours early. We would stand in the front of the queue. We would stand exactly where their cars come to park, and we were trying to get him to actually sign whatever I could. I even had Royce gloves for him at that point to try and get him to sign, and we could never get anywhere near signing. And this one day I actually shouted out in his native tongue, "Please, Peter, come and sign my gloves." And he heard it and he started walking our way, and he started signing everyone all the way up to literally the next person to where I was standing, and he stopped because he had to go in for his match warm-up. And that nearly killed me as a kid. I was like, I'm never going to get his autograph. And it was kind of game over. It was, oh, well, there's the day gone. And you could see it in my dad's face. He was a bit as distraught as I was. And we ended up going into Old Trafford and we're starting to watch the warm-up. And Schmeichel and Van der Haar were basically striking the ball. It was coming off the deck, and it was quite an easy tip over for Schmeichel at that time. Wasn't even needing to accelerate. He was just putting his hand up. It would hit his hand, it would hit his crossbar, and it would come up into the stands. Now we were 40, 45, 50 seats up. We weren't close. We were at the top stand, and this ball kept coming over. And I just turned around to Dad and went, "Dad, I'm going down there, and I'm going to dink the ball back to him." And my dad's face was, "Yeah, sure. It keeps you occupied for 5 minutes. Not a problem at all." And they kept pinging it and kept pinging it, and this ball just suddenly flew over, and it hit the crossbar, flicked up, and came over towards me. I took 3 or 4 steps to my right, and I can remember it dead on. I've literally just gone pluck straight into a W shape, locked it in my hands, not even thought twice about it. Most kids would probably grab that ball and ran. I'll keep that ball, thank you very much, see you later. I took this ball, waited for Schmeichel to turn round, and I launched the ball back to myself. I launched the ball back to him. And this ball travelled what would have been about 35, 40 yards. And it literally went that far away from his hands, and it literally took off this policeman's head. So his hat just went from like that. And Schmeichel, obviously, by this point, hadn't really recognised it, but he had turned round because he'd run out of balls. And he saw that this kid just launched this ball after making this catch from up the top end of the stadium. And he was just like, whoa, okay, he's got this throw like I have. And normally, obviously, where he would get on with his actual warm-up and keep going, he decided to grab this ball, launch it back at me. Now, not even thinking twice about it, it went nowhere near me, so I had to leg it and go and get this ball. Grabbed this ball and I went back to where I was standing, and I literally just launched it straight at him, and it went pluck straight into his hands. At which point I'm thinking, well, that's a nice throw, I'll get the next one. Schmeichel just goes, "Oi, little man," and he went, and he starts clapping. And obviously, when someone like that starts clapping, the crowd at that point, they aren't at full capacity, but there was a good 30, 45,000 people in the stadium at that point. And literally everyone saw him clapping this kid, and everyone started clapping. And I just stood there like that. It was game over. I was loving every minute of it. And of which, obviously, I turned around to Dad, and we just literally were beaming smiles. And do you know what? I didn't need his autograph after that. I'd had my moment. I'd had that chance. I'd had that time with what was my idol in goalkeeping, and loved every second of it. He kept a clean sheet that day. I was hoping he'd actually throw me the gloves up afterwards, but never got that far, unfortunately. But obviously, that moment was probably my favourite in my actual career. My favourite memory of being coached. Now, this is the one I don't think even my dad would really recognise or understand. I've won cup finals. I've played at high levels. I've been coached by some of the biggest names supposedly in goalkeeping of the generation I grew up in. Do you know what? None of them would even probably make it into my top 5. My greatest memory of being coached was actually we had a house that was called Alswick, and in Alswick at the back of our garden was a lot of acres. It was a very nice sized house. And at the back of that, I had like a small five-a-side pitch where Dad and I would go and train, or coach as I now would class it as. And there was just this one day that I was struggling to accelerate, and all Dad did was try and work out things for sort of 3-4 hours. He was getting string, and he was getting a bag to put this ball in, and he was tying a string in this tree, and he was cutting half this tree down, and I was thinking, what the heck is Dad doing? And what he'd actually created was this tree had this ball in, and he could then lift the ball up and down depending on how high he wanted the actual ball to be, and for obviously depending on how high I could accelerate at the time, he could lift the ball to make me then touch it. That is probably my favourite memory for full stop of when I was coached myself. So for my dad, if he is watching, that's a big one for him. He may be asleep because I know they're on siesta time over there at the moment. So that was my favourite memory of myself being coached. Now, my favourite coaching memories, some people probably want to hear this, especially the likes of Louis that's currently watching. We've had some memories, haven't we, big guy? For those that have joined in a little bit late, if you have got memories of coaching, or you've got favourite memories of yours in sport and you want them wrote down, ping them on there, ping them on the comments, and as they come through, I will literally read them out. If yours gets the most likes, you'll have 50 points. You'll get 50 cyber points. If you just send one in, for every one you send in, you'll get 10 cyber points. Dad says the Ferrari mechanics at the Silverstone GP in 1990, who without hesitation took the cover off the sheets of Nigel Mansell's car and allowed me to sit in it. Yeah, I remember that. Then I fell asleep during the Grand Prix when his car broke down, from what I can remember. But let's not go there, hey. Let's not tell everyone everything. So my favourite coaching memories. The first one I'm going to start off with is one with my title sponsor, Ruysch. In 2012, we were asked to attend the Total Football Show. Now, the Total Football Show had a lot of people attending. There were thousands of people. There was sort of 400 teams that were coming to this place, and then other people that would come and just look around, etc. We went there for a sort of 3-4 day period. Now, the organisers were having a mare, and they weren't actually getting people to come through the actual turnstiles with regards to coming in and seeing the likes of Ruysch and the other people that were selling things. Although, because we had literally 2 football pitches in size, as Ruysch, because of the coaching and people were seeing me wear things and all my guys wearing things, because we had about 40 people turning up from the keeper on that each day, and we would literally get a load selling. So Ruysch were doing all right with that selling. I mean, my favourite memory of that with a title sponsor was A, the whole period of doing that actual show. B, when we walked into the hotel room and the head of Ruysch, Bob Fiddler, he turned around to us and went, I think you guys will like the hotel room. We walk into it and there's this gorgeous hotel with lush beds, these plasmas on the actual walls, and you walked out, you opened up the curtains and you literally came over the top of what was like a lake. So we had a balcony over top of a lake. Now I was sharing with Dad, and then we had 5 groups. We had the likes of Jay and Georgie, we had Matty, we had Ryan and Foxy, we had Andy and Jay. We had all sorts there throughout that actual time. So we actually had a residential team, we had a non-residential team, but that was a hell of a time frame. That was a very good one. That was one that will live long in the memory. Coming on from that, we also did articles with the Goalkeeper magazine. Now, I know in the last couple of weeks I've shown a few of the Goalkeeper magazines that we did. I think we did 9 articles or so in the end. That was obviously a very big thing for me in coaching. We also, I've got one here, the Celtic one. When I actually went up and I was coaching at the Celtic guys, and literally in the first 15 minutes of being up there, they turned around to me and went, Lee, you're taking the session. I'm like, what? And now the only person that wasn't there at the time was Arthur Bork, but the whole Celtic team were there, and I was literally just thrown in to start the actual session itself. So that was a massive sort of chaotic time in my life where I was suddenly just having to start coaching and doing what I do straight away in front of one of the biggest teams, obviously, well, what is the biggest team in Scotland. Another one for a memory at Milton Keynes Dons. I got loads on coaching, so I couldn't just put them into one. So I thought I'd give you a chance to know a load of them, and then we'll have a look, see what other people have put, and we'll read those out as well today. So when I was coaching with the Dons, we took all the teams up there, from the pros down to, I think it was about 9s, 10s sort of area. And I literally warmed up every single goalkeeper all the way through the ages. Now, from what I can remember, out of, let's say, the 8 teams, I had 6 or 7 man of the matches from my goalkeepers, of which most of them kept clean sheets. Now against Chelsea, who were at that time one of the best academies, that was a hell of a day. I came back buzzing after that one. I also did get, obviously, Chelsea, in that side. Looked to try and have a contract with myself. Didn't work out, unfortunately. But that was a very big time in my coaching, and it spurred me on to do what I do now. It spurred me on to go further as well. Let's have a look, what else have I got? One of my private goalkeepers, a lad named Dino, I don't know whether he's watching, I don't think he is today, but he might watch on the other socials. He played for England at Wembley, and he'd come through my coaching one-on-ones all the way through from around about 7 or 8 all the way to 15, 16. Now at that time, that club did turn around and go, look, you've got to come into us, you can't be coached with Lee. And the rest is kind of history, but literally prior to that, the week before he sort of stopped getting coached by me, he actually played for England 18s, I think it was, and he played at Wembley. So that was a massive boost for myself, and obviously for him and his family. And that'll live long in my memory. I've got a nice trophy from him to say thank you. Didn't want to bring it down because some things for me have to still stay private. But that trophy that he bought me will live long in my memory. So that was a big one for me as well. Last year's awards evening, it's a relatively new one. It's just sort of started. In 2019, we decided we would do a awards evening, and we gave the Royce Award out, we gave the Universal title, we got Save of the Season, and we also had Top Hand Save Award. Now, all those sort of conjoined into one were made for a heck of an evening. We reckon, probably around about 150 to 170 odd people there just for the coaching. Now, we had people like that just joined in, Mandy and the family come down, and we had literally people that obviously are still getting coached. So we literally had everyone there, from different eras of the keeper to current, for the ones that never even got on coach before, and so many people turned up to support us all. That made for a heck of an evening, and hopefully in 2020 or the end of 2020 we'll be able to get another one of those going as well. And that was a heck of a one for me. And probably just going on to the last one, when I took my A licence and I was up in Scotland. Again, a lot of things have happened for me up in Scotland. But I was up in Scotland, and the guy that was assessing me turns around to me and goes, you remind me of a young Jose Mourinho. How you've been coaching and how you're coaching currently is unbelievable. You shouldn't be able to coach like you do at your age. Now I'm turning around to him going, well, look, I'm a goalkeeper coach, I'm not even a player coach. And he was like, look, you remind me of Mourinho. We think you're going to do massive things. And as per normal with things like that, still things happen, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't receive the qualification. That time, even though I'd had that said to me by the assessor, I actually didn't receive the qualification at that point. And the information I got handed back to me was, you were too young to have that licence. So obviously it needs must that we carry on. And you kind of laugh it off going, well, I'm not quite sure what else you want out of me. So in that sense, I think with everything I was saying to you here today, I think I've seen near enough everything in football you can see. But it's nowhere near finished yet. It's nowhere near even started yet. The journey has just begun, and you guys are part of it. So we just keep pushing and we keep going. Now let's have a little read of what people have put as theirs so far. We have, to start with, obviously little Charlotte. Charlotte says, being coached by myself, obviously me, and also getting picked for Watford. Again, as I said earlier, well done, absolutely brilliant, keep pushing everything you do. Christopher says, I scored my first goal, which was in the group day. It was from a penalty and hit it bottom left, hand corner. His first goal ever. I was so happy that I could do it. Yeah, absolutely. I remember the day. I remember just your face. I mean, if we did nothing else that day, that would have lit me up anyway. Charlotte says, yes, no problem. Jay, so Jonathan says, when I won the Top Hand Save trophy, I was so proud. Yeah, absolutely. I've covered that one already. It was a massive one, and what a heck of a trophy it was, if I must so say myself. Dad's one, yours does not count, Dad, just clarifying. The Royal Hospitality, yeah, it was a heck of a day, wasn't it? Jay asks, can you get 10 points for every memory you post? He'd like to post more than one. You can post more than one, but you will not get 10 points for every single post. Go for it, Jay, always good to hear. Hello, Soph, how's Adam? C says, also when you agree to coach him, he doesn't think you would, as he is a player, but he needs loads of support. Want him to see more. He said it was the best thing ever. That's sweet, that's brilliant, little man, thank you. Hey Jazz, how are you? Looking forward to tomorrow. Some points in session. My favourite would be if I got some points on your sessions. Dad. Well, you got some yesterday, if you remember right. Jay says, when he met you at Winner World Cup, he didn't know you could have goalkeeper coaching. He was so excited to join you and be coached by you. He loves his sessions and feels so lucky to have met you. Thank you very much, little man. That makes me smile, a little bit of a blush. I think you're just trying to suck up your session after this, though. So I will see you in a little while. Now, I thought this is a little bit of a different change up of things, rather than always just going into coaching, coming in and actually talking to everyone and just kind of having that conversation, having that chance to interact with me a little bit. We have in the next couple of weeks on this same sort of scenario, we're going to have the scariest moments. We're going to have the greatest moments, the greatest memorabilia, biggest regrets, and also current goals. So we're going to have a little bit of mixture I'm going to throw in the next couple of months, where even if we came out of lockdown next week, which I really don't think is going to happen, but just in case we did, I'll still be doing these sort of things. I'll still doing a couple of lives every week, and I'm also going to throw a few videos in every single week. But obviously when we can get back to coaching, I'll be going back into more the full-time side of it, and just trying to throw the odd things like this out, try and keep everyone entertained, try and keep everyone amused. But again, guys and girls that have watched today, thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you very much for watching. The keeper and your cyber coach, myself, Lee Reed, thank you very much for your time. And thank you for your memories. If you want to post some more, I will look at them throughout the day and I'll come back to you as those memories filter in. But again, thank you guys very much. Stay safe, stay sound, and the guys that are into the one-on-ones, I'll see you in about an hour. All right, guys, take care. See you soon.